Present, glad to be back.
Mrs. J.
Present.
Ms. Davis.
Present.
Mr. Stites.
Here.
Mr. Pond.
Present.
Mr. DeMott.
Here.
Mrs. Langworthy.
Here.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes of September 10th, 2012?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion to approve, seconded by Mr. DeMott. If you weren't here at last meeting, please abstain. Please poll the council.
Not a given.
Motion carries 6-0 with Mr. Pond and Mr. Starker abstaining.
Thank you. We're going to have two proclamations read tonight. So our first proclamation is Walk to School Day. It's a proclamation. Ms. Langworthy to please step down. I'm going to present that proclamation to her since she has a daughter walking to school every day, I believe. So whereas the lives of children could be saved each year if communities take steps to make pedestrian safety a priority, and whereas a lack of physical activity plays a leading role in rising rates of obesity, diabetes, and other health problems among children, and being able to walk or bicycle to school offers an opportunity to build activity in a daily routine, and whereas driving students to school by private vehicle contributes to traffic congestion and air pollution, and whereas an important role for parents and caregivers is to teach children about pedestrian safety and become aware of the difficulties and dangers that children face on their trip to school each day, and the health and environmental risks related to physical inactivity and air pollution. And whereas children, parents, and community leaders around the world are joining together to walk to school, now therefore be resolved that I, Jerry DiTullio, Mayor, and the City Council of Wheat Ridge proclaim October 3rd, 2012, International Walk to School Day in Wheat Ridge, Colorado, and encourage everyone to consider the safety and health of children every day and today.
My daughter doesn't walk to school, but not because we wouldn't love to do it, but there's this beautiful parkway that goes right through, so we don't get to go there. We're part of the problem, but it is a fantastic way to get kids out and let them remember that there's more to school than just being dropped off by your parent, push out a door, and out again. It's a way for them to kind of become familiar with their neighborhood, become familiar with their friends, and an opportunity for them to kind of communicate a little bit more while they're walking. So I fully support Walk to School Day, and we'll be there greeting the kids at our school at Prospect Valley on October 3rd. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot there that you didn't walk every day. Okay, the next one, which we're all aware of, is a proclamation for Conflict Resolution Month, October 2012. And we have our wonderful Mr. Casa here, Commander Casa.
Thank you.
Whereas conflict resolution encompasses mediation, arbitration, facilitation, and collaborative decision-making, restorative processes, and other responses to differences, and whereas the conflict resolution process empowers individuals, families, communities, organizations, and businesses to foster communication and devise solutions that are acceptable to the needs and interests of all parties involved, and whereas the conflict resolution is taught and practiced by citizens in many school systems, universities, and graduate programs throughout Colorado as a way of solving disputes, and whereas community-based programs fairly and equitably resolve neighborhood and community conflicts, thereby strengthening local relationships, and whereas professional associations of conflict mediators promote peaceful and creative resolutions to disputes, now therefore be resolved by the Mayor and the City Council of Wheat Ridge to hereby proclaim the month of October 2012 as the City of Wheat Ridge Conflict Resolution Month. Congratulations.
Great. Thank you very much. Huh? Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. October is Conflict Resolution Month, and I would like to invite members of the City Council and members of our community to the State Capitol on Monday, October 1st, where there is a photographic display which features members of the Wheat Ridge Police Department and others throughout the state who have done a lot of conflict resolution work. And that exhibit opens, I think, at 9 a.m. and runs through 5. There is a reception from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., and the department will be recognized for being a leader in the work that they do for conflict resolution. Thank you.
I wanted to piggyback on that comment by Commander Casa. The City of Wheat Ridge partners with Jeffco Mediation Services, and as some of you may notice, there's been some conflicts throughout the city with neighbors, and Jeffco Mediation does a great job of getting the neighbors together, talking about the issues, and they may not always be resolved, but they also bring some peace to the neighborhood and to the local area. It's happened in several cases in Wheat Ridge on 44th Avenue in my neighborhood, and the Jeffco mediation process is really well worth it. It's also a free service. If you have any comments or questions about it, council members, you can contact the police chief or the police department. They have information about the free Jeffco mediation services. Chief, so would you agree? Thank you. Moving on to citizens' right to speak. Please step forward if you have any comments that are not on the agenda tonight. And please spell your last name for the record.
Okay, Nancy Snow here again. On behalf of Wheat Ridge United Neighborhoods, I would like to invite everybody here in the room and everybody at home to come to our annual campaign forum, which is this Thursday night right here in this room at 7 o'clock. It's really a great opportunity to actually see your candidates. We have invited, well, we didn't invite the president and his opponent, but other than that, starting at the top, we have Ed Perlmutter's coming and his opponents, several of them. Joe Coors will be here, and Doug Campbell. Sue Schaefer, who's our state representative, will be here, as will two people opposing her, Christian Alton and Lyon Decker. We have candidates for the regions, both the regions at large and the regions for this district, District 7. And we have all the candidates for county commissioners will be here. And then we're going to try, I think we'll be successful in having somebody speak both for and against the three things that are on the state ballot, the two school board issues, and then the one that's a change to our Wheat Ridge Charter. So I'd like to ask you all to come and welcome our elected officials and those who would like to be elected officials. I'd very much appreciate if you all come, and I think you'd find it a good thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Please step forward for any item not on the agenda for public comment. Seeing none, we'll move on to approval of the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda tonight? Just wanted to let council know items 2 and 3 will be held as one public hearing. Item 2 is continued, and item 3 will be moved into that item 2 public hearing, and then staff public comment and presentations will be heard under one public hearing. After it's closed, we'll have multiple motions. So item 1 is the consent agenda. Mr. DeMott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. From the consent agenda, number 1A, Resolution 46-2012, a resolution amending the fiscal year 2012 general fund budget to reflect the approval of supplemental budget appropriation in the amount of $5,000 from the Law Enforcement Assistance Fund for DUI enforcement, public awareness, and education. Item 1B, Resolution 48-2012, a resolution amending fiscal year 2012 general fund budget to reflect the approval of a supplemental budget appropriation in the amount of $195,000 for the annual sales tax share to Renewal Wheat Ridge. Item 1C, Resolution 47-2012, a resolution approving a contract with the Colorado Department of Transportation for project number 19099, bus bench installation. Item 1D, motion to approve payment to ESRI Incorporated in the amount of $35,750 for the annual license renewal for the Graphic Informational System, GIS system. Is motion in order?
Motion's in order.
I move to approve items 1A, B, C, and D.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the consent agenda, A through D, was seconded by Mr. Stites. Discussion or changes on the consent agenda? Please poll the council.
Motion carries 8-0.
Next item on the agenda is public hearings and ordinances on second reading. I believe before we go into number 2 or 3, Mr. Starker needs to leave the room. Mr. Starker?
With the council's permission, I'd like to recuse myself.
So item 2 is Resolution 42-2012, and item 3, under the same public hearing, is Resolution 49-2012. Mr. Davis? Mr. Reinhardt?
I'd like to reintroduce Resolution number 42, 2012, a resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement with Walrus 5560 to participate in the Wheat Ridge Business Development Zone program for a rebate of 25% of the eligible city fees, charges, and taxes in association with the construction of a restaurant at 5560 West 29th. And I'd like to introduce Resolution number 49, 2012, a resolution authorizing the execution of agreement with Walrus 5560 for participation in the Enhanced Sales Tax Incentive Program, rebating 25% in the sales tax for a period of 3 years for the construction of a restaurant at 5560 West 29th Avenue.
Move on to a staff presentation. Mr. Dahl or Mr. Goff or Mr. Art, are you moving forward with the presentation?
Yeah, I'll say a few words. Staff does recommend approval of both of these agreements for numerous reasons. First of all, this project is estimated to generate approximately $45,000 in new sales tax to the city on an annual basis, and that is the primary justification for both of these programs is the increase in sales tax and or jobs to the city. And speaking of jobs, the project is also projected to add 25 new permanent jobs to the city. We'll also address a blighted, underutilized property, which will be revitalized with new public improvements, including sidewalk, curb, and gutter at the expense of the developer. The project could act as a catalyst in this area of the city for other revitalization projects along 29th Corridor. And this project also assists in addressing a lack of full-service sit-down restaurant options, which has been noted as an issue in our comprehensive plan and other planning documents. So staff feels that this minimal incentive package is justified for this type of project. Thank you.
Thank you. Move on to public comment. Do we have anybody here to speak? Please spell your last name for the record and give us your city and or your address.
My name is Lloyd Levy. Levy, and I live here in Wheat Ridge at 3275 Upham Street. And I want to first say that I know Mr. Starker very well, but I'm not here to speak about Mr. Starker. I'm here to speak about this project, which is something that it seems to me these two ordinances that we have on the books here were obviously created to incentivize. This is just the sort of thing that was envisioned by the BDZ program and the STIP program. The sales tax benefits are contingent, and the give back is small compared to the investment that's being made. I know it's a significant fraction of what we anticipate as an increment, but it will leave the vast majority of whatever is realized for other priorities in the city, so it could be quite a benefit. And the effect it could have on that corner would be quite striking, I think, if it plays out exactly as everyone would hope. So I urge you to support these two agreements, because this is a project that fits right into what we had in mind with the BDC and the STIP.
Thank you. Do you have anybody else here to speak on items 2 or 3 from the public? Seeing none, we'll move on to council discussion and questions. Ms. Langworthy?
I guess I want to clarify something, because the way that it's written and the way I thought maybe what Joey and you and Chrissy were coming up with might not be what I thought. So I want to clarify. On the tax increment on the ESTIP, so the first year he gets 25% over zero because his previous year is zero. So whatever he sells, it's 25%. Now on year 2, it's whatever over that year 1 sales is a 25%. Is that correct? So it's not 25% of each year's sales. It's 25% of each year's increase in sales?
It'd be 25% of the original base, and the base is set as the previous 12 months.
So it doesn't, each year it
zero.
doesn't change. It's the original base.
Correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I support this. I just want to make sure that was, because that's what I thought you guys meant. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments before I close the public hearing?
I would just like to say that I agree with Mr. Levy. It's a great opportunity for the businesses, and I think it does represent that Wheat Ridge is willing to support new businesses and encourage them. And I think as a council, within our study session, if those people didn't listen to the study session, I think our goal was to set up a plan that would still encourage new businesses while watching the risk of the taxpayer dollars. And I think we came up with a really good plan.
Any other comments or questions before I close the public hearing? Close the public hearing. A motion's in order.
I move to approve Resolution Number 42, 2012, a resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement with Walrus 5560 to participate in the Wheat Ridge Business Development Zone program for rebate of 25% of eligible city fees, charges, and taxes in association with the construction of a restaurant at 5560 West 29th Avenue.
Second.
We have a motion to approve item number 2, second by Mr. DeMott. Please poll the council.
Motion carries 7-0.
I was waiting for the 8th vote, but I was a little slow, so I move to approve the adoption of Resolution 49, 2012, a resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement with Walrus 5560 for participation in the Enhanced Sales Tax Incentive Program, rebating 25% of the enhanced sales tax for a period of 3 years for the construction of a restaurant on 5560 West 29th Avenue.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion to approve item number 3, was seconded by Ms. Davis. Please poll the council.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Would you please ask Mr. Starker to come back in? Thank you. The next item on the agenda is ordinances on first reading. Item 4 is Council Bill number 22-2012. Mr. Pond.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council Bill number 22-2012, an ordinance amending Chapter 26 concerning the review process for public schools. The city's zoning code requires a special use permit, SUP, for public and private schools in all residential zone districts, agriculture zone districts, and in the neighborhood commercial, restricted commercial, and commercial 1 districts. Prior to a new school opening in one of these zone districts, the applicant is required to complete an SUP process. An SUP is also required if an expansion beyond the size of the originally approved school is proposed. The state of Colorado adopted legislation about the siting and construction of public and charter schools codified in Section 22-32-124 of the Colorado Revised Statutes. According to the city's attorney, the city's current requirement for an SUP for public charter school is in conflict with this state law. The proposed ordinance would update the review process for public schools so that it conforms to Colorado law. Is motion in order?
Motion's in order.
I move to approve Council Bill number 22-2012, an ordinance amending Chapter 26 concerning the review process for public schools on first reading, order it published, public hearing set for Monday, October 8th at 7 p.m. in the City Council chambers, and that it take effect 15 days after final publication.
Second.
We have a motion to approve item number 4 was seconded by Mr. Stites. Please poll the council.
Motion carries 8-0.
Thank you. Item 5 is Council Bill number 21-2012. Mr. Stites.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to introduce Council Bill number 21-2012, an ordinance amending Chapter 26 concerning the creation of an industrial employment zone district. The proposed ordinance would update the city's existing light industrial zone district to become the industrial employment, i.e. zone district. The proposed changes, which are recommended by the city's comprehensive plan, include adding more modern uses to the list of permitted uses, updating the development standards for new development, and providing the opportunity to rezone directly to IE rather than requiring a planned industrial development. Is a motion in order?
Motion's in order.
I move to approve Council Bill number 21, 2012, an ordinance amending Chapter 26 concerning the creation of an industrial employment zone district on first reading, order it published, public hearing set for Monday, October 8th at 7 p.m. in the City Council chambers, and that it take effect 15 days after final publication.
Second.
We have a motion to approve item number 5. It was seconded by Mr. Pond and Ms. Langworthy. Please poll the council.
Motion carries 8-0.
Thank you. Item 6 is Council Bill number 23-2012. Ms. Davis.
Thank you. Council Bill number 23-2012, an ordinance approving a city-initiated rezoning of property located at 7753 Acre Lane from residential R3 to mixed-use commercial. Case number WZ-12-05. In 2011, City Council approved a legislative rezoning of the Wadsworth Corridor to mixed-use commercial. It has come to the staff's attention that a 1.15 acre parcel just west of Wadsworth at 7753 Acre Lane was inadvertently excluded from the zone change process. This application is a city-initiated rezoning, and approval of the enclosed ordinance will rezone the subject parcel to mixed-use commercial. Is a motion in order?
Motion's in order.
I move to approve Council Bill number 23-2012, an ordinance approving a city-initiated rezoning of property located at 7753 Acre Lane from residential 3 to mixed-use commercial. On first reading, order it published, public hearing set for Monday, October 22nd, 2012 at 7 p.m. in City Council chambers, and that it take effect 15 days after final publication.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion to approve item number 6. It was seconded by Mr. Starker. Please poll the council.
Motion carries 8-0.
Thank you. Item 7 is Council Bill number...
I'd like to recuse myself. I'd like to recuse myself from item number 7.
Item number 7? Council, does anybody have any problem with Mr. Reinhardt? So, Mr. Dahl, is he going to leave or just abstain?
He's going to recuse himself. He should leave the room.
Okay.
I should ask him why. Why you want?
Yeah, we need to explain to the council why, that's all.
I'm in a business relationship where I'd be a direct beneficiary if this zoning goes through.
Okay. So let the record show that Mr. Reinhardt recused himself because he has a business interest on 38. Item 8, item 7 is Council Bill number 20-2012. Ms. Jay.
Council Bill number 2012, an ordinance approving the comprehensive rezoning of property along 38th Avenue between Sheridan and Wadsworth to the mixed-use neighborhood MUN zone district, case number WZ-12-04. At issue, the city's adopted plans, including the Envisions Wheat Ridge and the 38th Avenue corridor plan, call for the redevelopment of 38th Avenue and mixed-use pedestrian-friendly development. The current zoning on 38th Avenue contains outdated development standards and makes compact mixed-use development difficult to achieve. The mixed-use neighborhood MUN zone district, adopted by City Council in 2010, was designed to promote quality mixed-use development on corridors like 38th Avenue. In order to achieve the city's goal of promoting a mixed-use Main Street on 38th Avenue, the city initiated a comprehensive rezoning of properties along the corridor between Sheridan and Wadsworth to mixed-use neighborhood MUN. Motion in order?
Motion is in order.
I move to approve Council Bill number 20-2012, an ordinance approving the comprehensive rezoning of property along 38th Avenue between Sheridan and Wadsworth to the mixed-use neighborhood MUN zone district. On first reading, order it published, public hearing set for Monday, October 22nd, 2012, at 7 p.m. in City Council chambers, and that it take effect 30 days after final publication with the following condition. The property located at 6965-85 West 38th Avenue is removed from the rezoning area.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion to approve item number 7. It was seconded by Mr. Starker. Please poll the council.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Item 8 is Council Bill number 24-2012. Ms. Langworthy?
Should we get?
Good one. That was in stereo.
This is first reading, no matter. Sorry, we were going to start without you. All right. So everybody's back. We're all whole again. Item 8, Ms. Langworthy.
Thank you, Mayor. Council Bill number 24-2012, an ordinance amending Chapter 21-107 of the Wheat Ridge Code of Laws to permit waiver of insurance requirements for certain long-term right-of-way permits. At issue, the existing ordinance allows right-of-way use permits to be issued for a maximum time of 5 years and requires that property owners provide evidence of insurance while right-of-way use permits are in force. Some of the right-of-way use permits, which are routinely reissued, authorize semi-permanent improvements such as fences, walls, and etc. The proposed amendment to the city code would allow such long-term permits to be issued without a defined termination date. The proposed ordinance amendment would continue to require city identification for long-term right-of-way use permits, but would not require that insurance certificates be provided to the city. Long-term permits would also be recorded against the affected properties to ensure that future owners are aware of the permits. Is a motion in order?
Motion's in order.
I move to approve Council Bill number 24-2012, an ordinance amending Chapter 21-107 of the Wheat Ridge Code of Laws to permit waiver of insurance requirements for certain long-term right-of-way permits. On first reading, order it published, public hearing set for Monday, October 8th, 2012 at 7 p.m. in the City Council chambers, and that it take effect upon adoption.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion to approve item number 8. It was seconded by Mr. Stites. Please poll the council.
Motion carries 8-0.
Thank you. I believe that concludes our agenda for this evening. We'll move on to City Manager's Matters.
Thank you, Mayor. At our last regular meeting, Mr. Mayor brought up some brought to our attention some graffiti issues in East Wheat Ridge, specifically in some of our alleys. And I just want to report back that the police department has been working with our code enforcement department and our parks and public works departments to proactively address some of these quality of life issues in East Wheat Ridge, and it's been pretty successful. We've been sending out letters to the neighborhoods asking them to clean up some of their areas and alleys, and we gave them some examples of some issues that we're seeing, and we gave them a notice so that they had time to clean that up before they were actually received any type of warnings. So, but we do take graffiti fairly seriously in the city. We do ask that if anybody witnesses somebody defacing private property, that you call 911 immediately. If you have graffiti to report, you can call the non-emergency number at 303-237-2220. And if you have any questions, you can give the city a call or check out our website. There's more information on there. I'd also like to thank our staff for, I think, what was a very successful event this Saturday, our Wheat Ridge 38, or Ridge at 38 ribbon cutting and grand opening, and most of you were there, and I thought it was a very successful day and very long day, and we had some staff working quite a few hours, but everybody was having fun while we were doing it, so I had fun myself, so thanks.
Thanks. Mr. Dahl?
Not tonight, thanks.
Ms. Shaver?
I don't have anything tonight.
Oh, thank you. I just wanted to congratulate the city at the celebration for the Ridge of 38. That was Saturday. You know, we celebrated the marketing and the branding logo that's been developed for 38th Avenue, but more importantly, what we celebrated on Saturday was maybe the transformation of 38th Avenue to more of a downtown, a destination location for the city of Wheat Ridge, not a pass-through street between Golden and Denver, as it's been in the past. You know, we're celebrating our current businesses there. We have businesses that have been there 50 years and some brand new businesses. And I just wanted to once again really thank a lot of groups of people that were there on Saturday. Obviously, we had 38th Avenue Leadership Committee that was started about 2 years ago. We were Sackway, who's donated the bike racks. We had Right Coast Pizza sponsored the movie night. I want to thank the 38th Avenue Steering Committee, which was a smaller group of the leadership committee working on the marketing logo. Wheat Ridge 2020, the Wheat Ridge Business District, our city staff who were there all day working different booths, and our vendors, the car clubs that had car show at the school, Jeffco Schools. I want to thank them for allowing us to use their parking lot and their property. The vendors that were there. Joyce G., I wanted to give a special thanks to Joyce. She was there early in the morning, and she's been running around with balloons and cameras and everything else, trying to put it all together. So good job on the job well done. Live Well has been active on this, Live Local, and all of our new residents and not so new residents have been working on this project. We have a lot of new folks living in the east side of town that are working hard to see the city move together and move forward together. And we have to remember that doing business as usual is going to bring the usual business. That's what we're trying to avoid, is a different business model, protecting our current businesses and helping them expand, and also seeing some new retail and commercial on 38th Avenue. So good job to everybody so far. And we're actually implementing the NRS that was started in 2005 when I was still on City Council. So that's exciting to see an actual study come to fruition. So good job for everybody and our City Council too. So with that, I'll move on to Mr. Starker. You've been gone for a while. Do you have anything to say?
Glad to be back. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Davis?
I just wanted to mirror, I'm sure everyone's going to say things about the 38th Avenue event, but just wanted to mirror what everyone has already said and thank the staff and Wheat Ridge 2020, Joyce, for all your hard work and the event. It was a very nice event. The other thing I wanted to bring up is as city council members, we have the opportunity to write articles in the Gazette. We've started a kind of a council corner this year, and we all rotate through that. And part of my article was respect and tolerance, and I think working with city council, listening to some of the ordinances that we've talked about over the last few months, one of it being the smoking ordinance, another one being noise ordinance, and another thing we talked about was housing and senior housing or handicap housing, how many people should be allowed in homes and that type of thing. So my article was a little bit about respect and tolerance, and also as a community that we come together and work to solve some of these issues without having necessarily ordinances in place. And one thing that was left out, and they might have had to do this because of copyright laws, was a quote from Albert Einstein. So I want to share that tonight, since it wasn't in my article. And the quote is, "Laws alone cannot secure freedom of expression. In order that every man present his views without penalty, there must be a spirit of tolerance in the entire population." And that's actually a quote from Albert Einstein. So I wanted to share that since it wasn't a part of the article.
Thank you. Mr. Pond?
I get to follow Christy and Albert. Thank you.
I can give you a few quotes.
No, that's right.
I can Google it.
I want to actually, I think, emphasize the thanking of two significant groups. Staff, who I know were there all weekend, probably before and afterward on the event. So thank you to all the staff who worked so hard to make that successful. But also, what I thought was quite a bit of volunteerism, whether it was citizens who were working with Wheat Ridge 2020 or with other groups. But obviously, the volunteer effort was significant and very important. And, I hope that it was just one of many events that we're going to see on the street. So I'm excited to see a bright future for 38th Avenue.
Thank you. Mr. DeMont?
I have nothing tonight. Thanks.
Thanks. Mr. Stites?
Oh, yeah. It was a great day Saturday. It was nice and I see a lot of good positive energy starting on 38th Avenue. However, I am working on legislation to at some point add TH to 38th. So it's the Ridge at 38th, not the Ridge at 38th. I don't know if they save money by leaving TH off or not, but I'll be bringing forth. It's a great time to relocate to Wheat Ridge. If you need any help, ask one of us or staff. It's a great time of year to do positive things with leaves coming down. If you have an elderly neighbor, help them out. It won't take much time. And as always, please try to find it and buy it in Wheat Ridge. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Langford?
Well, I wasn't able to attend Saturday as I had a sick child, but I really think that what's going on 38th is starting to spread beyond just the normal group of people who volunteer are active in Wheat Ridge. And to me, I think that's the most exciting thing about what 38th is doing. It's engaging people outside of our normal group. So I look forward to, like you, many more events that I'll be able to attend as well.
Thank you. Ms. Jay?
I think Ridge on 38, what it has done is it has created a sense of community that I've not seen as strongly before. The volunteers and the committees, et cetera, all of the groups just really are bonding into a lot of friendship and hi, how are yous. And I so hope that continues as a big old warm fuzzy for our city, and that more and more people get involved, because there's lots of pluses. Most fun about having a party, I think, is getting ready for it and the anticipation, and then to have a great party that made it a lot of frosting on the cake.
Thank you. Mr. Reinhardt?
Well, I've been largely beat to it, so I don't get too long, but I particularly thank all the work of Councilwoman Jay, in particular in the appropriation phase. I think is worth specific note. And to me personally, the staff was outstanding, and to see them out there in force was good. I'd also like to reinforce Mrs. Snow's comments and encourage everyone to be involved in the election forum on Thursday night. Come out and hear what our potential current and potential future elected officials have to say, because it's important. So that's all I have. Thank you.
The last thing I wanted to bring up tonight, I just wanted to see if council wanted to put on a quick study session or a discussion coming up, is I know it's been very hot and warm and muggy, but one of the positive things we had in the past on 38th Avenue and other streets in the city was some snow removal by the city on 44th, 38th. The city would actually run a blade down 38th or 44th in the past. It was discontinued because of budget cuts, which I understand why. But I wanted to look at to see if we had a plan in place for 38th Avenue for the next year or two as we do this evaluation process, because we're going to have the planters in the street still, according to Sarah Showalter. There's going to be some things still in the street. We'll be plowing. The city will be plowing the streets. But one of the complaints we've had in the past from citizens is that the sidewalks on 38th Avenue are, as soon as the plows go by, they're full of snow, and then they're not really cleaned off by anybody. And I just wanted to make sure that we're not going to miss this, because everything else has been going on, that we have some kind of a plan in place. The businesses are going to take charge of that, and they're going to actually make sure that they're cleaning the sidewalks after the plows go by, or the city has a contingency plan of a small contractor or somebody going in, or Public Works is catching those sidewalks between Sheridan and Wadsworth, so we don't have any issues of someone, whatever it's going to be, because as soon as we don't think about it, it's going to happen. So I don't know if, Patrick, you want to maybe send out an email to council, let them know what the plan is. Sarah Showalter thought that the business owners should do it. There's a different philosophical opinion that I think if we're going to be having this project in the beginning, the city should do it, and then they can build on that later as businesses, because it's going to cost them some money to have a contractor. So either Public Works or a contractor or the local business owners. I don't necessarily think you have to say anything about tonight, but it's just something to think about so we don't get caught December 25th or 24th and we're trying to address the snow, the biggest blizzard ever in the city of Wheat Ridge, and then we can get to their shops on 38th Avenue. So any comments or questions? Mr. Goff, do you have any thought on that?
Well, yeah, I can just tell you what my understanding is of the plan, and this was addressed by the 38th Avenue Leadership Committee and our staff, and the city, of course, will be plowing the street, and also will be taking care of the parking areas along the street. We will be removing snow from that. It's my understanding, though, the Leadership Committee felt it was important that the business community clear the sidewalks. We offered to provide, I think we did provide estimates of what that would cost if the city took that over, and their decision was that the businesses should do that.
I mean, I just think that it's a slippery slope, because we're not doing 44th, and we're not, I do think it should be a business-owned type of project. And I would hope, since we have one lane and there's more, I can say this now, slush area, that hopefully it won't be on the sidewalks as much, I would hope. But I would think it's a business responsibility, or else I'd be a business owner on 44th or 29th or wherever saying, when is the city going to come shovel my sidewalk? So I would suggest that we have the businesses do it.
Well, and you're correct about the area that's been with the road dye, but east and west of that, there's still 4 lanes. They'll be splashing that snow right on top of that sidewalk, between Sheridan and Chase or Depew. and also west of Upham. So just something to think about, so we're not getting the phone calls and the upset pedestrians and motor vehicles. So, any other questions or comments before we adjourn into our study session? Okay, we'll take 5 minutes. We'll come back at 7:45.